I would request our moderator, Varsha Jain, documentary filmmaker, content creator, script writer, lyricist, and author, to please join us on the stage. Miss Varsha Jain. I would request the audience to please take their seat and now request Miss Preeti Vyas, CEO Amar Chitra Katha, to join us on the stage. I would also request Siddharth Jain, founder Story Inc., to join us on the stage. I would request audience to please take their seats. Thank you.
A very good afternoon to all of you. So we boiled down from 4 panelists to 2 panelists. So I'm sure it's going to be more interesting and a lot of focused discussion with 2 stalwarts into comic books and adapting books into films. So basically, see, pages to pixels may be a new term, but the whole concept has existed since more than 2 centuries, with Cinderella being the oldest book to film adaptation, which released way back in 1899. And in the Indian arena, even you can say Dadasaheb Phalke's film, which was Raja Harishchandra, could very well be a classic example of adaptation of a book into a film. And our film has been evolving ever since with a lot of renewed thought and vision and implementation. And so we have this lovely 2 duo stalwarts who's going to give their thoughts and their inputs and their experiences and some learning tips that we can all take away. So starting with the lovely lady on the panel, Preeti, tell me, when did you start this beautiful journey of creating content through your, you can say inherited but chosen, medium of comic books, which has started now adapting since a long while into films for the government and children's content and festivals and stuff like that. So let's hear that. How has been your journey and what's been your learnings and takeaway that can enrich all of us?
Hello. Thank you, Varsha. Thank you for having me here. Happy to be here with Sid. We've been on too many panels together. So, yes, of course, I represent Amar Chitra Katha. I am also an employee of the company. I've been there for 6 years now. Amar Chitra Katha started its journey in 1967. So it's been 57 years of storytelling. And the story starts with our founder, Mr. Anant Pai, who was popularly and fondly known as Uncle Pai, and him having this great passion and desire to connect Indian children with their Indian roots. He could see that they were losing the connect with their Indian identity, and he felt that there was no better medium than comics to actually help them rediscover that connect. So that's how ACK was born in 1967. The first comic was released, and in 1980, Tinkle was born. So ACK has all the non-fiction actually. It has retellings of popular mythology, religion, history, folk tales, folklore. And Tinkle is where we have all our fiction. So we have our Supandis and Shambhus and Wing Stars and all the different characters. Yeah, so it's been a wonderful journey, I think, for the company, connecting with multiple generations of Indians through our stories. And yeah, we continue to thrive and grow.
That's commendable because it's easy to create, but to sustain and keep growing.
Books is that source of story which can hasten the process of developing a script and a project and take it to screen faster. Yeah. But it's not that easy, right? Because I think the audience at the end does not care what is your source. You know, I was just listening to somebody earlier saying we make so many films and they don't release. But I think, let's be fair, are those films worth the money that the audience will pay for the ticket? Correct. Or should the streamer pay those many crores for it if people are not watching it? Absolutely. You know, so I think on merit it should sell or be consumed. So I think that merit is very subjective, right? What I may like, the audience may not like. But I think there is a certain process of converting anything to a script and then to an audiovisual piece of content. And books and stories are a very core, vital source. You know, if you take mineral water, like say Evian, it's from a certain Sunno, French
Spring.
spring water, right? Now, if I want to sell Evian, I need to get that source right. I can't take any water from anywhere, put it and sell it as Evian. Then the expectations, will not be met from that product or content. So I think that's the main thing that I think we should understand as an industry. That while we can look at books, comic books, original material, at the end it does not matter. If you're, where you source, where you're inspired from, is the starting point. It's not the end point. The end point is understanding what our audience is interested in paying money for, or what are they consuming. India is largely an entertainment audience. We don't want the greatest of the content in the best possible way. We want value for money, value for our time. If I'm going to go to the theater and go coordinate it, today's day, it's not only the cost of going to the theater. I think it's the cost of coordinating with 5 people.
Yeah,
Are you free for that one show? So it's inconvenient. So how interesting will your content pool be for them to go through the inconvenience of going to the theater, right? So, and that comes from where? That comes from the mindset of the creator. So the creator has to think audience first and find ways to enthrall them through these various tools that we use in storytelling.
Amar Chitrakatha and Tinkle, number one, to put aside any worries and fears, we are very much alive and kicking, thriving, growing. We still do about 3.5 to 4 million copies in print every year. We have our own digital apps. The readership on the apps is about 10x of what it is in print. So the comic book as a format, in fact, with the growing craze over manga and anime and all of that, there is in fact a growth in readership for comic books. So reading is definitely not, reading of comic books is not dead. But there is, the consumer wants to consume content in different ways, right? And not everybody wants to read, but everybody wants a piece of culture. Everybody wants a piece of that story. And I believe that we're not publishers of comic books. We are a comic content company, and we should be able to adapt our content into any medium in which the consumer wants to consume that. So whether you want to listen to it, then I have something on Audible. If you want to watch animation, I have something happening. You want a live action show, that should be there. You want a live immersive experience, you should be able to experience that. Maybe 10 years from now, I can digitally stream my content directly to your brain. Who knows, right? That's not very far away. And I should be able to do that as well. So it's all about taking that story and how can you make sure it reaches as many story lovers as possible. And as India grows in, not just in GDP, but as India grows in pride in itself, there is going to be a greater hunger for Indian stories.
So true. And so do you think that the shift, there was a phase when there was a big time slump in the readership and in terms of the distribution and in terms of books in a big way, In the past maybe 5-6 years, it's rebuilt back to a lot of reading. But do you think the shift to the audiovisual medium also helped the readership go up? Because
I think yes, they kind of help each other. It's a very synergistic. So we, whenever we see, for example, we had a comic called Tanaji. Now Tanaji was a comic which was released somewhere in the 80s, right? It's a very old comic. And then the Ajay Devgan film came out. We had a collaboration with them. We did a special limited edition with him on the cover, and we did that. And suddenly, obviously, because of that movie, Tanaji sales went up that year. In fact, right now we are seeing a crazy amount of, uptake on the Mahabharata. Right, because of Kalki, there is so much interest not just in the Mahabharata but all the Mahabharata characters that the ACK Mahabharata, which was probably doing, maybe was selling 8 to 10 copies a day on Amazon. Our current DRR is 53 copies a day.
Wow, that's
so
amazing.
It's really crazy. A good movie or a good audiovisual adaptation will always help the book sell as well.
Great. So, Sid, like the Indian...
Wait, can I just add one more thing to this?
Sure.
I think one more reason why it's very important for publishers to look at this medium is, now if you look at the cost of running a 2-hour ad on a TV network for years, it'll be hundreds of crores.
Right.
But if you're able to convert that into a film, piece of content, that runs free and runs and runs and runs. It's like the best marketing ever you can do for a different medium through this. So it's just invaluable when it comes to the monetization of that marketing value that you get.
So true.
In fact, we did a comic book the other way around as well, right? Not just books to
Right. It's films to books
books
too,
as well.
yes.
So we did a comic book version of a Netflix movie called Mindal Murli last year.
Okay.
We did a graphic novel adaptation of it. So now that movie released on Netflix, it did really well. It was in the top whatever 20
So then they
worldwide.
went to merchandising.
But then eventually the viewership of that movie would have gone down. It's still there in the Netflix library, but how many people are viewing it? But once a graphic novel comes out and that book again gives the movie a fresh lease of life. So it's
So
a very
true.
symbiotic relationship. They can all, it's the same ecosystem and they can all help each other.
So true, so true. So Sid, basically the Indian mytho, the superhero and the period films are always evergreen, you know, and with the power of the VFX and CGI, which can, you know, recreate anything that you envision, do you think adapting pages to pixels, is it like a sure shot success formula? Does it come along with its challenges and risks when you're adapting, you know, anything to film? What kind of challenges, what kind of, you know, restrictions or risks that come along when you're adapting any book to any real-time character or mythological character, because that's already a predefined zone. So advantages would be many because, you know, you come with a fan base already, but what is the risks and challenges that you face in the process?
I think a good example of that was Adi Purush that got made.
Okay.
Right, so you can take anything, and it's really up to the creator. They can either destroy it and then get destroyed themselves, or they try and like elevate the story and the character, like the B.R. Chopra, Mahabharat, and Ramanand Sagar in Ramayana did. Secondly, the other challenge I think with public domain stories is that it's public domain. So while you get fans, yeah, unless you create some real good point of view on it, it may not have much value because it's not yours to own. Like nobody can own, say, like Arjun as a character. Anybody can create different versions of Arjun, but the version that comes out the best is actually has value, right? And also, I think in India, if you've seen, mythology usually has worked best on television format where the budgets are still modest. Because the moment you take it to film, the budgets become so high that sometimes the viability of the project is in question. But I think in the last 2 years, a bunch of more ambitious projects have been announced, and with the VFX technology getting better and more accessible, there is definitely more to look forward to. But these will be obviously the big franchise films, the big superheroes, the big mythology projects. They will always come with a high risk, high return model. But I personally feel, that it's also people are very sensitive towards their favorite characters, especially the religious ones, right? So there's always a thin line there. I'm afraid to tread it most of the time because people do get offended. When freedom of speech also comes with the freedom to get
The
offended.
sentiments get.
Yeah, and people are free to, feel
Yes.
bad if they don't like something.
Yes.
So, it is, so I think you have to be really sensitive. And the thing is, when you write a book, you can still control the narrative as a single person author. But when making an audiovisual project like a film or a series, hundreds of people come together to make something. So it's just how it is. The nature of the beast is tread carefully, high risk, high return, and high chances of failure. And most of these projects don't really work well.
So could we say that the writers and directors should be like, don't mess with the basics, is where it could
Don't
be.
mess,
don't
be
get,
smart,
very
be
creative,
sensitive,
yeah.
and make it better.
And to add to that, what he was saying earlier, do your research, go to the source, do your homework, right? Be clear on what you're putting out, even though it's your take on it. Have the authenticity to back it up so that you know what you're talking about. A lot of times when things go really crazy when things have not been researched. I think for an ACK, of course, it's all our stories are public domain stories. We don't own the rights to Ramayana or to Mahabharata, but why does it continue to be the most popular version? It's because there is a level of credibility that goes with it. And there have been times when there have been cases, for example, in the this whole Padmavati controversy that happened,
Right.
where the ACK version of Rani Padmavati was actually submitted as
Oh,
part
wow.
of the court evidence.
That's interesting.
That this is the real story,
Wow.
right? So there has to be, whether it is if it's non-fiction, there has to be that level of authenticity and research that goes into
So
it.
research is, yeah.
Fiction is fun. Do whatever you
Right,
like.
right.
It's, I mean, it's your story.
So research will be the key word to go by. So there's
Research on paper, not just conversations with people.
yeah, that's
And
right.
not just like the random Google search or the first 3 searches.
Yeah,
first
I
search
mean, that's
results.
unfortunate, yeah, but most of the films are getting researched, whether they're documentaries or feature films. People are not going to the libraries, they're not reading the papers, they're not reading the documents, and Google search has become the new go-to person. So, just putting out a question to both of you. All of us come from, different age brackets, and age is just a number when it comes to creativity. And though there is no success formula, all creative beings come to the film industry very optimistic and starry-eyed. Surely everyone has to learn from their own mistakes. But if you had to mentor them for a sense of guidelines to follow, which would be your 3 most significant tips or lessons to guide them for attaining success in writing fiction and taking them from pages to pixels, or for identifying the correct book for adapting into films? What would be your 3, key advice?
Siddharth is the one who's running script writing workshops and guiding a lot of young filmmakers.
Sure, so we'll
he's the
start
right
with him,
person
but
to-
we'll hear from you
No, but
as
I was
well.
going to say that I need guidance.
No, we'll all give him guidance for sure, but let's hear from you
See, there
too,
is no
yes.
formula, first of all. I think this nature of this industry that you are in of creating content is you have to follow structure but break the formula. There's no formula, but there's always a structure which is called the grammar of telling a story. And that is very important. I think a lot of people don't really focus a lot on the narrative structure style. If you look at Hollywood, Hollywood works across the world, across countries, across cultures, across languages. Why? Because they have created good storytelling structures that sometimes they'll break, like a Tarantino will break, but you master the structure, then you break it. So I feel for any creator, whether it's a producer, director, writer, whether you're picking a book to adapt, if you take a book or a comic book, you have to first see, can I find a film or a series structure in this story? If I don't have a structure, then no matter how good your story is, it'll not work. You know, if as children we've heard some stories from our mothers and grandmothers because they had their own structure of engaging you for those 20 minutes, feed you food and now scoot off. And they had mastered that structure. फिर पता है क्या होता है? And then you're wondering, and roti goes in, and then you know फिर क्या होता है. So that's exactly how you tell a story. If it's verbal, if it's theatre, if it's cinema, no matter what, as a professional, if you don't know the narrative structure and technique, you cannot fill in the blanks with anything. You know, Mills and Boon was so popular for decades. Why? I had the good fortune to work with them 15 years ago.
Wow, that's nice.
And they had a template. Each book has a set template. You had to only change what is happening in the plot was the same. Characters were different, locations were different, they were saying different things, but
Interesting.
within the same dhacha. Right? So the stencil is very important for commercial content because people have expectations. If you tell me let's go for a nice horror comedy, now I have some expectations from it. You give me that, but now in a different way. Right? So then it works.
But don't you think in the 80s people were going with the dhacha, and that is why we had the same kind of films coming in different formats?
No, but you can also fill the dhacha with crap. No, that is your individuality. So I was come to the second point. Once you master the structure, find your original voice.
Okay, cool.
It can't be copy paste, copy paste, copy paste.
Perfect. That answers it. Yeah. So, Preeti, this is for you. Given the scenario that there is more influx of content than the film producers, is there any recommended way to create a conducive ecosystem for encouraging creative individuals to keep writing stories, scripts, novels, poems? And what are your favorite forums and events that encourage exchange of thoughts, working, networking, you know? You will add to it later. First, we'll hear it
I'm
from
not
her.
talking. I was just saying your questions are better than our answers.
I know.
Thanks for that.
I think it's something that we're all struggling with, right? I think even in publishing, we joke that there are more writers than readers in India. Everybody everybody will have someone in their life who has written a book or is intending to write a book, either themselves, a family member, a neighbor, or a friend. There's a lot of ideas, and that's beautiful, right? That's creativity, and that's the creative spirit finding you. And I would encourage anybody who has a story to write that story. Anybody who wants to make a film to want to make that film. Just don't base your life on it, right? Because it's hard to make money doing that. I know from the world of books, definitely, there's literally 8 or 10 authors in this country who are making a living from selling their books, right? So if you want to put all your entire life into that one book, it's going to be a tremendous amount of pressure on yourself. So the way to encourage that is to have a day job, right? Find a way that makes money for you to support your family. And then you have the freedom of actually having genuine creative expression, writing your story in the authentic way as it comes to you from your heart, right? There are a lot of book clubs. There is a lot of online platforms where you can, start your own blog, publish your stories. A lot of bookstores have open mic sessions. So many avenues available. But you will experience the joy of it only if you don't have pressure of success on it.
Success and earning, I guess.
Especially if you set a number to it that I need to earn X amount of lakhs from this book, that's going to be really hard.
Because, over a period of years, like with the conversations that I've had with some outstanding writers who've done some amazing works in the past, after a point in time, they've lost the motivation, the self-drive, and because things not converting to success and all of that. And I feel that's the biggest breaker for any creative person. Because if you're creative, write for yourself. The joy for writing for yourself will bring out the best in you. And that's some place where most creative people forget to do that, and they just put it to a commercial, project, and think that if I'm not getting a project, why write? Or like when they're in a day job,
like
they lose
that. One of my friends who is a psychologist, right? And she has just written, her name is Sonali Gupta. She wrote her first book called Anxiety, which was published by HarperCollins. Second book is now coming out. It's on managing grief. It's by Penguin. And I was talking to her about promoting that book, and she says, Preeti, I have a successful practice. She's a practicing psychiatrist, psychotherapist, and she's very, very respected. She says, if my book is able to help 5 human beings cope with the grief of losing a loved one, I'll feel satisfied. I'll know that the book has done its job. And even after I'm dead and gone, this book will continue to remain and inspire others and help others. And that's a beautiful motivation to come from, right? Because it's not that she has given up on the book. She is actively promoting the book, but her desire from that book is not purely commercial, right? And that, I think, will help her to take that book to a different level altogether.
So true. Siddharth, what would you like to add to that?
No, nothing. I was just going to say that if a writer hits a blog, they should just write self-help books, non-fiction.
Probably self-help books, or even groups, being part of, clubs or, online groups, or anything that keeps you connected to the art, I think is very important to keep the motivation going. And since we say Pages to Pixel is our panel for the day, which is the closest to your heart? Like, if you say yours or anybody else's, which project you will say which was adapted from a book which is very close to your heart, and why?
I mean, nothing's that close to the heart.
I'm sure it'll be.
But I really enjoyed watching Harry Potter, the first one. For me, that was, extremely, I think, satisfying. And I quite enjoyed A Suitable Boy. It was a little bit slow, but, I think these are well-made stories, told really well. And, because when you read a book, you do your own imagination, right, in your head. Yes. And then you watch somebody else's version of it. That's tough. And then I think all of the early Marvel films were pretty good. The earlier Spider-Man, the earlier Supermans, I think they were all nice. Now because all of them have already been done, I think now we get very, very different versions of those. So now it's become a little not as much fun. Yeah. But I still prefer the older content. Yeah, because the older versions were still, you can do the close to the material version once. You can't do it second, third time.
Right.
So you're forced to then go away from the material.
Right. To recreate it, yeah.
Like, I couldn't watch the Asterix movie. I couldn't. I saw 10 minutes and I said, like, you're killing it for me. This is a part of my childhood which is so precious to me. I can close my eyes and hear Obelix in my head. I don't want to take that away while watching this version.
Great.
But having said that, I'm really excited about. We've just had a animation, 3D animation deal with Zebu Animation Studios
Okay.
from Bangalore,
Okay.
and they are adapting Supandi
Oh, nice.
and another character of ours called Wingstar, and they're starting with the work on Wingstar, and it is looking so amazing. And I think it's coming really close to what the character is like in the comic book. So I'm very excited about that one.
That's interesting. And one last question that I would like to put out is like with so many books in the market, so many comic books, so many, fiction and so many biographies and all of that. Say any writer, see a lot of writers are writing and then pitching to directors and producers. So original content versus adaptation, obviously adaptation, like we all say and agree, is a safer bet to go by because people can relate to when you're pitching it to them. How does one choose what to select and what to write on? Because then there's a whole lot of legality that goes behind, writing on someone's book. So it's not the writer but the producer who will eventually be handling all of that. But as a writer, how does one identify what to start writing or which book to identify to adapt?
So I think the job
You
the
just
job
go
of
to Siddharth,
identify.
that's it. He'll help you. He has a long list and he'll say, this is the one you want.
So
I
you
wish
guys
it
know
was
you
so
got to
easy.
take his number before he exits from
No,
here.
but seriously, it's not the writer's job to identify the material.
Yes.
It's really the producer's job to find a book. Then the producer will take the rights, option the rights, buy the rights, whatever, and then will commission the writer to write it. So I think the writer always comes as the second step. It's not the first step.
So true, but if you look at from a writer's perspective, they need to write to take something to a producer.
No, but you can't take somebody else's material. Then you have to take
That's
original
the-
material.
yeah, that's-
You can't take somebody else's written material, then you adapt it and then pitch it as your work. It doesn't practically work like that. You have to then pitch your original material only as a writer. But if you're the original author of the book, then you can pitch it.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
But as a point of proving your writing skills as an individual, if that's an exercise one goes
But
with,
you can't prove your skills by taking somebody else's material.
Sure. Okay.
You're actually proving that I have no imagination, but I'm taking Mr. X's story. So
Yeah.
it'll be the wrong proof.
No, as an adaptation is an art in its own
So
self.
then that's screenplay, right? I'm saying
Yeah.
you can write a sample
Yeah, the
based on
screenplay is
material.
what I'm saying,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So you can do that, but I'm saying if you don't get the rights, then what do you do? Then it's gone
That's
waste.
the point, yeah. Because some people have been working on, books.
Then they don't have the right guidance.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what. So people need to go to him.
Or just use common sense.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you could take this.
I learned the craft and during the COVID, and then wrote in around span of 1.5 or 2 years the entire screenplay. I got the copyrights from the government and everything, and I pitched to many producers and all that, and I got cold replies that this is not like this is the title of the screenplay, Flying Taxi. It was a sci-fi thing. So like Karan Johar replied, "Ke we don't do such kind of, so there's not." So they gave their humble replies. And I tried a lot. Then finally I converted it into a book. I rewrote into a book format. I published it and I sold a few copies and I'm pitching that. So this is like, now I hear that you are able to pitch the books for adaptation like. So how is, what is the process like?
He'll guide you
So
off.
there are a bunch of processes. I mean, one is you can just pitch, like you send your script to a production house. You can send a copy of the book or a synopsis of the book to a production house. That's one way of doing it. The other way is you can reach out to companies like mine, wherein we represent books and authors, and then we share that material with production houses. The third way is to maybe go and find a filmmaker, and through social media or Instagram, a good director, send him your material. If he likes it, then he'll take it to a producer. So I'm saying there's no like one way of doing it. It can be like you can try all of these things.
Is it like that Indian producers and they are feeling shy or staying away from sci-fi movies?
Yeah, that they do.
Finding it that US is way ahead, and if we make something,
Yeah, that's true actually. It's not the
that
most.
mindset that they are already dropped the
No,
competition.
it's
and
because
into
no, it's
some-
not about dropping the competition. It's about money is very precious in today's time.
correct.
And if you expect someone to put in crores, they're going to
Yeah.
think a lot and put a lot of mind and experience and manage risk to make something. So we're not talking about a couple of thousands, a couple of lakhs, right? So we're talking about crores and maybe tens of crores and hundreds of crores for a science fiction project. So it is very wise of them to be very careful and say no to things.
Yes.
You have to, so I mean, the job of a producer is to say no till you find that one yes. So unfortunately, it is like this, right? It is always out of 1,000 of a haystack to pick one needle. There might be 5 good needles, but they'll pick the one that is makes most business sense to them.
But I do want to add to that the right of self-expression. I have a story. I want my story to go out of my heart and mind and reach the world at large is a basic human right. Everyone has a right to self-expression. The best way, if you have a story inside you, don't die with the story inside you. The best thing to do literally is self-publish a book.
I agree.
It costs you 20,000 rupees to self-publish a book.
Absolutely.
You will have 200 copies in front of you, have a lovely evening in your home, call your family and friends, have a reading. They'll clap for you, they'll celebrate your book, open a bottle of wine and enjoy that evening.
Absolutely.
That's a
It
beautiful-
does not have to be a multi-crore budget thing. Why?
Forget
Absolutely.
that. Don't
Yeah.
even
Big hand
chase.
for that. I
Enjoy
think.
your self-expression and you'll have people in your life who will appreciate
I
it
got
as
this
well.
published for 40,000 rupees.
There you go.
Okay.
So
I
that's a
started it.
beautiful point to close
Also, plus,
on.
don't even chase literary agents or publishers.
Yeah.
Just self-publish.
So true. So that's a beautiful point to close
I'm
on, because
self-publishing my
that need for self-expression and the need for self-worthiness is what keeps a creative person motivated and moving forward in life. And so before we open it up for some more Q&A, just on a closing note, I would say that over the decades of having so many success stories and outstanding films like the Harry Potter series, Mowgli, The Godfather, Jurassic Park, Slumdog Millionaire, and then the 2024, where books took the place of honor on the Oscars red carpet with 8 adaptations, including 5 for the Best Film competition, are highly creative and talented comic book authors, screenplay writers, filmmakers can take India to the next level on the global arena with a conscious effort to focus and invest on good films with great content of domestic and international appeal. Because after all, content is king. And that's why we are all here. So opening the house for some more Q&A, we could pass the mic further to anyone else.
Just a short that I would like to thank the Pi family for influencing our childhood. There was no influence, there was no Instagram, there was no social media in our age. And the biggest 2 influences were Amar Chitrakatha and Tinkle Stories. They gave a lot of wisdom. And so I would like to offer a small gift from my side. Thank you, sir. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
So anyone in the audience who would like to put up a question, could please take the mic. Even if you would want to share any of your experiences, you're most welcome.
Nobody can ask questions when you're asking questions.
Okay. So do you want me to ask some more specific questions? I think then we're done for the day. It's been, okay, we have someone there.
Hello, my name is Harith Rusi. For the particularly Siddharth, is there any option available like licensing a book? Let's say if I like a novel, which is a very well written and it's a hit kind of book, and I just want to make a short film. So, is there any idea or route if I want to make a short film out of it, and for the time being, I just want to use it, and is there any kind of library thing available or which?
No,
I
so
can
there is
use?
a mechanism. So you can either reach out to the author, the publisher, or a company like ours, and we can always check if the rights are available. But there is a commercial process to it. You'll have to compensate the writer for his work. You'll have to compensate the publisher for some money, and then figure out the deal. So you have to respect copyright, and you have to then pay people. So depending on the success of the book and the kind of project you want to make, they can choose to say yes or no, and then accordingly fine. But there is a process. I mean, we do this all the time. So it's a pretty organized space now.
Thank you.
So I think thank you so much for this.
Thank you, Varsha.
For being here, for taking time out, and for all the lovely answers that you all had.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jain. And I would now like to call my colleague Harsh Nirmal to present the moment of appreciation, please. Thank you. Sorry.